volunteers. We also have consecutive translation in Amharic, which we'll be offering as we go through this, and we'll just wait for our gold medalists and we'll get started. In the stairwell. We're going to get everybody here one way or another. All right, let's welcome the medalists in the men's 10,000 meters, all with identical times of 26:43, a new Olympic record. The bronze medalists bringing home the first medal for the United States in this event since 2012, Grant Fisher. The silver medalist winning the 16th medal in the 10,000 meters for Ethiopia. That's the most of any country in the history of the Olympic Games, Berihu Aregawi. And the gold medalist, also the world record holder in the 5,000 meters in the 10,000 meters from Uganda, Joshua Cheptegei. We will now open the floor up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. I'll point to you and we will have a microphone come to you. Please stand up and state your name and outlet. You can stay seated, but state your name and outlet. We are recording this on OIS and on My Info, so if you have a question online, you can use the Ask OIS function and they will ask that question for you. We'll start right here.
Thank you. Brian Pinelli with Team USA. Question for Grant. Grant, Park City, Utah is considered America's winter sports capital. We found out about a week ago that the Winter Olympic Games are coming back to Park City, Utah in 2034. You made a big decision to relocate and move to the mountains and train at altitude. And I know you said it was a little bit of a daunting move. Talk a little bit about coming to Park City, training at altitude, and how much that training, since I believe you moved in the fall, has helped you to get where you are tonight with a bronze medal around your neck.
Yeah, totally. I've been close to the medals before, but I've never gotten one until today. And I made a big change a year ago, and one of the pieces to that change was to move to Park City and spend more time at altitude. That was one piece of the puzzle that bumped me up 1 second over the course of a 10K, and I think it was a big piece. You look at everyone that medals in the 10K year after year. Pretty much everyone lives at altitude. They don't live at sea level and do camps at altitude. So, yeah, I moved up there, and it's been fantastic. It's a beautiful place. There's great community, and the training is great, and I love it. I could see myself staying there for a really long time, and yeah, I'm proud to live there now, and it's worked out so well. So, yeah, that was one piece of the puzzle. And there's talks about cross country being brought into the Winter Olympics. So I guess in 2034 I'm going to be a little old, but maybe I could get a legacy spot on the cross country team or something. But yeah, it's fun. I rub shoulders with the skiers, snowboarders, skaters a lot more than the summer athletes, and it's a fun change.
Jonathan?
Jonathan Gold from Let'sRun.com. Question for Grant. Congratulations. You mentioned pieces of the puzzle. Moving to Park City was one of them. What do you think were the other pieces of the puzzle, the differences between 5th and 4th in your previous finals to the medal tonight?
Yeah, I think to summarize the change I made a year ago, it was just to optimize everything I could. One piece was to optimize my altitude plan. One piece was to just individualize my training a little better. Switching coaches was a piece of that. Implementing different ideas in training, a lot more threshold work, a lot more choosing high frequency of workouts over high intensity of workouts, a lot more lactate testing, trying to hone in everything that I could. And there are things that I left behind by making a change. I had fantastic training partners, and I've kind of pieced it together. Matt Centrowitz has been a great training partner and mentor over the past year, and but other than that, they've been few and far between. So yeah, little things. altitude is a piece, training location's a piece, generally being happy in, my whole setup is a piece, the coaching is a piece. All those things add up, and so many things have to go right over the course of a year to get on the podium, and I'm happy that they did.
Joshua, you've got the world record in the 5,000 and the 10,000. You won silver in this event in Tokyo in 2021. How does it feel to now add gold to your list of accomplishments?
Yeah, for me, it's a very special day here in Paris, and normally I'm reminded, of the challenges that I always encounter whenever during the season, especially in the build-up to the Olympic Games and another major championship. And one more special thing is that always these guys always get me, to get stronger and stronger. Whenever I get like disappointments in the races, I always use it in a positive way to come back strongly and build up to, to be in a great shape. Of course, I was prepared today, even to be on the world record pace. I knew I was if this 640, it's just, it's jogging for me. Yeah, because I was really in my training, I was really in a world record shape. And of course, I remember one time when I was from Los Angeles Grand Prix, and then I met Sebastian, of course, the president, and then he was telling me he's counting on me for the 10K. And that was motivation for me because I literally come back from the marathon, and I was still between road racer and a track, athlete. But one special moment was when I was in Oslo, and I was number 8 or number 9, and then everybody was like, Cheptegei is gone. But for me, I always take disappointments to build up into something special, and I've always gotten it right. And I want to thank really, God, and I want to thank the team around me, my training coaches, my management, global sports communication, and everybody. And these guys always make me to go strong, be stronger. The 10K is now it's more stake than any other distance. When you look at these guys now running 26, 12, and then, everybody's strong. So it can be anybody's race. So it really, huge respect for these guys, and maybe, for me, maybe it's time to go to the roads. Yeah, sincerely, I've really won everything that is there to be won. So I think this is my last Olympics, and maybe this is my last track and field, So I'm really very sure that the track is on the safe side with these guys, and and with the Grant, and of course Berihu here, and many guys out there. I'm sure that we'll have more exciting moments in the future again. But as for me, it's been a great 10 years. I remember way back in Eugene, Oregon, the World Junior Championship in 2014, when I was still just a young boy of 17, and then when I was winning a gold medal in a World Junior Championship. And then it was even more fulfilling that I went back there for the World Championship and won again in the senior title. So it's been 10 great years of great impact. And man, it has to something which is special has to come to an end. So that means I have to find new challenges. Yeah, thank you.
Berihu, 16 medals for Ethiopia in this event. That's the most of any country in the world. What does it mean for your name to be on that list of countrymen who've done so well in the 10,000 meters?
ያው ኢትዮጵያ ብዙ ወርቅ ነው የተለመደው። ያው ብዙ በነቀኔታ በነምሩጽና እንትን ያው ለኔ ለግሌ በጣም አሪፍ ነው ብር በማምጣቴ ያው በጣም አሪፍ ነው።
Normally, Ethiopia usually got used to gold a lot, but if you talk about Qananisa Bekele and Muruz, but this time even silver for me, it's a great win.
Other questions for the medalist? In the back there.
Joshua, as the victory lap was ending, and you kind of put your arm around Grant, what did you tell him in that moment?
Yeah, for me, it's so exciting to see that, to witness that Grant also was part of the medalists today. And when I looked at his toes and he was like wounded, and it was really, he really fought for it. And what is so amazing is that he's been always number 4, and then it was worth rewarding today and congratulating him, of course, for being one of the, for really winning really a hard-fought, medal, because really it's really special to see some of these young guys come up and step up and inspire a lot of young boys out there. It's really amazing. And for me, I told him, yeah, this is my last year on the track, and I told him, yeah, you got it next year and other championships, you have to win, man. Yeah, that was our talk, of course. Yeah.
Weldon, do you have a question?
Hi, Weldon Johnson, Let'sRun.com. Joshua, early on in the race, the Ethiopians were pushing the pace, and the pace was going fast and slowing down. You sort of stayed out of that. What were you thinking when they were pushing the pace? I didn't see you much early in the race until when it mattered the most.
Yeah, for me, I knew the tactic. Of course, I read the game, of course, in the beginning. And I knew that these guys would not run at 26:31 and wait to run at 27:50 on the Olympics. So I was really prepared for a fast race. And, of course, as every lap was going on, I knew when to come to the front and be able to kill it. So for me, it was very important is to not run hard, but to come to the front when the moment counts. And it's paid off seriously, and I'm really so grateful that today my tactic has worked really perfectly.
Coley Harvey, ESPN. Grant, can you just put into words the moment of that last 100 when you guys are really pushing for the end? You're kind of making a little bit of ground. The crowd, I'm sure you guys couldn't really hear because you're so locked in, but the crowd seemed really into it too. Can you just kind of put into words what that last 100 meters was for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you replay that situation over and over in your head in the lead up. I was injured last year when the World Championships were going on, and I really wanted to get back to the global stage. And these races always come down to the last lap, and specifically the last 100 meters. And to be in position and fighting, and you're riding the line the whole race, but that last 100 meters, you can see your goal right in front of you. I can count to 3. Everyone in that race can count to 3, and this sport is defined by top 3. And I've been outside of that every time up until today. So, yeah, I've seen 1, 2, 3 slip away from me before, but today I managed to get it. So it feels really good. These guys have been on the podium before. This is my first time. So, so many things have to come together to get that to happen. I think my margins were probably a little more slim than these guys today. I think the race could have gone a lot of different ways, and they would have gotten on the podium. But I needed to execute a pretty spotless race. So I wanted to be in good position the whole time, and I don't have the lights out speed to make up a ton of ground instantly. So I needed to be in a good position, and I think it worked out well.
Hello, David Aldridge with The Athletic. Grant, I wanted to know, it appeared like you may have stumbled with about 9 laps to go, and I'm just wondering what happened there. And then also, I don't know if you saw Billy Mills had said that he thought you had a great chance to win this race, and I didn't know if you had seen that, and if you had any reaction to that.
Yeah, so for the first part of your question, yeah, I stumbled. I don't know exactly how far it was in, but it was decently late in the race. I think we might have been lapping someone, and there was just a lot of movement, and I got clipped up and stumbled. I stepped on the rail and managed to stay up, but I lost a few positions. But it's a 10K, so you have enough time to recover, and it was a little rattling for a second. Just to, if you go back and rewatch the race, you could probably see my tactic was just to stay in roughly in those medal positions the whole race, and so that was kind of my plan. And then all of a sudden, boom, I was in like 8th. So yeah, stuff like that happens. You got to keep your cool. To the Billy Mills part, I did not see that. Probably a good thing. Didn't, don't need to put too much pressure on the situation. I met Billy Mills when I was a sophomore in high school. He gave a speech at the Michigan High School Coaches Association banquet, and I was there. And so I have a T-shirt that's signed by Billy Mills from when I was a kid. So he's one of the few people that have stood on top of the podium in the men's distance races for the U.S. So really inspiring. He has a great story, and I'm happy to kind of continue that legacy a little bit and get a medal for the U.S.
You had one? Oh. We'll go right here. It's Jonathan.
Yeah, Grant, I guess I wanted to follow up on that. Like, it's very hard to win an Olympic medal. Not a lot of American distance runners have done it. I mean, what does it mean to you to be part of a group that includes guys like Billy Mills, Frank Shorter, Meb Keflezighi, Matthew Centrowitz? Now you're part of that group.
Yeah, it's rare. It's something I've always been on the outside looking in with the medals, and when I was a kid, Billy Mills was like one of the few guys, like you said, that have made it to the top. Gillen Rupp, one of the few that made it to the top. Evan Jager, Matt Centrowitz. There's a handful of guys that have made it to the top three, but they're few and far between. And so, like, I guess in recent years, Chalimo as well, but the narrative when I was a kid was like the U.S., you just can't run with the East African guys. You can't run with the best European guys. And, I hope I showed that I'm capable of that. My very first international competition at the senior level was the Olympics in Tokyo. And I remember I lined up right next to Joshua, and he had just broken the world record in the 10K and the 5K. And I remember I just PR'd in the 10K, and I ran 27:11, which was exactly a minute slower than he had just run. And I was like, how am I supposed to race this guy? He's a minute faster than me. And I think in the past 3 years, my mindset has shifted a lot, that I kind of belong in these positions more, and I've become a better athlete, but my mindset has shifted too. And I hope that people can see that as my mindset shifts, so should everybody in the U.S. as well. People are capable of great things, and you have to put yourself in the positions and believe in yourself in order for good things to happen. And I think I did that today.
Thank you, Lars Makori, for the Daily Nation in Kenya. Joshua, 10 great years. We were together in Eugene for the juniors, and now you're stepping out of the track. What has been your best medal on the track? And secondly, you've been doing a lot of work in Kapchorwa, with the camp there. What makes Kapchorwa special? And then my second one to Berihu. Berihu, you were controlling the race pretty much well. But then at some point, Joshua came in and, took over from you guys. There's been talk about the new Nike kit, because the Ugandan kit traditionally was a bright yellow and you could identify a runner from far. Did the kit perhaps play a role in, you not recognizing when Joshua was coming through? Thank you.
Well, thank you. For me, I can say that every medal that I've won is really very special. And if I would say, the World Cross Country Championship in Denmark was really, of course, one of the special medals because of the surrounding circumstances that led to, well, of course, I had so many challenges leading up to the race, and, this was a race where nobody believed that I was going to win, and then I just came and won it. So, and then also, like, all my races are really special because when people are looking that it's going to be defeated, then you come out and you win. So, even I think last year in Budapest was also special because I was nearly not, of course, in the position to win, but of course I won. And then the Olympics of 2020, I was number 6 in Firenze Diamond League, and then 1 month and 1 week to the Olympics, I was able to show up and win a gold and silver. And also, like today now is a more special race for me because I was number 9 in Oslo, but now the best in the Olympic Games. So it's about using setbacks and challenges to shape your way towards your dream. And I always say that never get tired of working out your best. Never get tired of that dream. What was your goal when you wanted to become a champion? For me, this has always reminded me of, if I get challenges, I always ask myself, what made you to run before? That I look at the last 10 years, what was that real thing that told you to run? And that is where I get my answer. I have to believe in myself. So, in whatever we find ourselves in different challenges, we have to wake up, work out ourselves, believe in ourselves, and get it right. And yeah, for my country, I'm so privileged that the young boys are actually inspired because of the wins that we always win and fight for our country. And I want to thank them, of course, for the Kapchorwa area who are always praying and believing in us. This shows that Kapchorwa now and Uganda can be able to compete with the best of the world, especially with the Kenya, Ethiopia, and the rest of the world. We have given them a platform to believe in themselves, the young boys and girls. Thank you.
You had a second question. You want to repeat it?
Yeah, Berihu, there's been talk about the kit, the Nike kit for Uganda. It is a bit different. It's a bit dark. It's not the bright yellow that we are used to. Could it perhaps have affected your judgment? You did not see Joshua coming. Perhaps you're expecting to see a yellow kit. You know, the Ugandan kit is a bit different this time. Was it a factor at all?
እና ሩጫ ጆሹዋ ሲሮጥበት የሆነ ቦታ ላይ የእሱ ከለር ምናልባት ትንሽ እንደመጥፎ ይሆን በከለሩ የተነሳ ይሆን በከለሩ የተነሳ በለበሰው ልብስ ቀለም ሊሆን ይችላል ወይ?
አይ አይደለም። ያው ማለት አሁን ለምሳሌ እንትን ሲሆን ነው
እንዴት ስትገቡ ስታሸንፉ እንዴት ሲያሸንፍህ ማለት ነው እሱ ተጽዋምቶብሃል
አይደለም። አሁን ለምሳሌ በእንትን ላይ እየመራን የነበርነው ጊዜ ጆሹዋ ቶሎ ነው የወጣው ቀድሞ ነው የወጣውና ያው ከዛ ደግሞ በመሃል ነበሩን ግራንድ ፊሸር ሌሎቹና የሚፍ ነበሩ በመሃል ላይ የዛኔ ነው ያው ክፍተት አረኩ ከዛ በቃ እንጂ የዛ አይደለም የማላየው አይደለም
It actually didn't affect me or influence me in any way, but when we started, Joshua really started very fast. And when we were running through, I saw Grant also. They were really running a bit strongly. But then at last I decided so that I can pass them through. And at the end, I came out second, but I'm really glad.
We'll do one last question. Weldon, what do you got?
Joshua, you sound like you're too old to keep doing the track, and that Grant can do it. But you're 27, and so is Grant. You're the same age. So, do you feel like that people only have so many years at the top?
Yeah, we are built differently, and of course, for me, like I started when I was 17 years old, and I had to discontinue with school because of my dream. And I talked to my parents, and they allowed me to pursue my career, and then. Yeah, they allowed me, and then I was able to win the World Junior Championship. And maybe Grant, of course, started a little bit late because of now, of course, like from the junior level, but now I started from junior level. And then I was able to move, running with the likes of Mo Farah from 2015 World Championship when I was still pretty young, and then I was 9th at the World Championship. Then 2016, I was 6th in 10K. And then 2017 was my breakthrough, winning a silver in London. So for me, every year has been counting. Every year has been counting. If you count from 2017, have not been able to miss out of the podium. I've always gotten the best medal. And for me, 10 years means that, you know, like when you translate into achievements, I think I'm a complete runner because now I have the world records. I have titles on the track, and my mind is really bored now because I really, it's too much because I've been literally the only person on, maybe now Kiblimo, of course, for Uganda. But before, I was only one person, one army, fighting for my country. But the breakthrough came when Kiblimo came. And also last year, Victor Kiblangat, and then Perus Chamtai in the steeplages. So it means that now I'm being relieved, and I can be able to be released for another, let's say, for the longer distance. So for me, it's about, I've had a lot of, I don't know, a lot of challenges. Of course, a lot of challenges in terms of attacking races and approaching races. And it's, guys, it's sometimes it gets, you know, you get a lot of mental, you know, like mental issues, and you just feel like you want to be fresh. So for me, this is about the mental kind of part. But I would still go longer, but because of the pressure and the mental aspect, I might be forced to, you know, to discontinue and and look forward to other challenges on the roads. Thank you.
All right, Berihu, Aregawi, Grant Fisher, Joshua Cheptegei, medalist in the men's 10,000 meters. Remember, this press conference is available on My Info. You can download it and you can use it on your platforms. Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
And we can stop the stream.